Hi, my name is Newell Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to go over a bin that we haven't touched on in a while, and that is my 35-gallon trash can bin. This is made from a Rubbermaid trash can that's 35 gallons. I cut a hole in the bottom. I then put some holes in the side, small holes. I should say a large hole in the bottom that you can easily reach into to scrape out the compost out of the bottom. And then I ran smaller holes with cable through it, coax cable, and I then started loading stuff in the top. And this has been going on for years now, and I slowly take stuff out of the bottom, and I will usually do a compost tea with that and put that in my yard. And it's worked really well for years. It was inexpensive to make. I had a whole ton of coax cable laying around the house from wiring up the house. I had the extra, I didn't have an extra trash can, but I had a lid for it already because of a recycle bin that was blown away. And all I had to do is buy the trash can and the worms. So I just wanted to take a look at this again and show you how well this is doing. This is a continuously flow through bin, and it has worked really well. And it's not that expensive for those that maybe don't have the money or resources to buy something that's expensive. Maybe you can get one of these trash cans used, or a blue barrel or something like that, and you can make one of these bins. So let's take a look at this and see how it's doing here. So I'm going to bring this really close in here. So I have this labeled as master bin because, well, I have had this for a long time. I consider this to be the bin that I always will have going in the background here. This is where I get all my worms from. I don't use the lid anymore. I actually just use a piece of cardboard for the lid. And this is it. Now, I'm going to use shine a light in here to make it a little bit brighter for you, because unfortunately I don't have a lot of light in this corner, but look how this material looks. It's light, it's fluffy, it's exactly how this stuff should look. Now, I know there's not a lot of worms in here right now. I kind of dug around in here recently, but this is actually teeming with worms. And if we were to, I'm going to actually dig here pretty low here in the bin. Let me just move all this stuff off to one side. This back side here. And you can see that this is just pure castings. And there's still worms in it. They're still working through it. There's a whole bunch of them in there. And I can just keep digging down like this, and this will look all very similar. Now, what I normally do is dig out from the bottom and get the castings out. I haven't done that in a while now, but you can see how many worms are in here. I mean, just look at this. Right back here, you can see a whole bunch of them in that pile. Let me just see if I can zoom in here a little bit. This is just a little section of the bin right there. And you can just see that there's a lot. And they're all through the bin, just like this. So it's not like some of my other containers where they, I only see them in one section and then they kind of disappear and they move towards the food. They just are all through this bin. And this is such a light, airy material. And this stuff just kind of sheds away off of here typically. I mean, it just breaks apart. Now, some of it's stuck here, but it just breaks apart in here. I mean, it's just amazing how well this, it's just so light and airy. But it works really well. I actually usually find a lot of worms in here. I move worms from this to my other bins. This is where I will throw food in the top, and then I'll collect the worms out from the top without taking anything else out. Just some of the material from the top with the worms, and I will put that in other bins when I'm starting them. It's a huge boost to the bacterial or microbial population in those bins, and it just gets them going right away. So this is what I do for my worms. Now, I just want to show you here again how this is built. I'm going to take the camera off here, so just give me a second. And we're going to come down here and take a look. So down here, sorry, moving my stand out of the way from my camera. Down here, we have the multiple holes that I have where the cable is feeding through. Now, if you can't tell, this is concaved in. This is collapsed a little bit, and you can see it's pinching there on the corner. And that's because of the weight pulling down on those cables. It has pulled this in. This is not a bad thing. What this has done, it's created an area where there's a little bit more compression down here at the bottom, so the worms are kind of forced to move up in the bin and move towards the top. Then I have my opening down here where I scrape stuff out. You can tell there's a piece of pumpkin here that never really got broken up, but I'll reach in and I'll scrape out, and then I have a small shovel here that I can use to actually reach in and grab stuff out of here. Now, right in here, it's pretty dry right now. I haven't done this in a while because I was letting it build up again during the winter, but it works pretty well for what I have here. I mean, it's surprisingly cheap. I think this was 35 bucks. I had the cable, I had everything. I mean, like, all I had to do was buy the worms. That was it. Now, I do get a little bit of stuff kind of leaching out through the sides here sometimes, and I have actually, there's a reason why this floor is all brown here. There was one time I threw in a little bit too much water and it leaked out, and I have not cleaned it up since. But this has worked really well, and for those that are looking for something a little bit larger than a 10-gallon tote, but maybe don't have $100 to spend on a professional system, this might be a really good option for you. It works really well, and I don't have to harvest the worms out of it really. I only do that because I want to, but I don't have to, and they just come. The compost comes right out the bottom, and any worms I find in that I throw back in the top, and that's it. And it works really well. And usually I'll add a lot. I mean, this is typically I fill this up with paper almost to the top when I add food, and it just slowly sinks back down every single time. It's just it's amazing how well this system has worked for me. So I just wanted to give an update on it, and thank everybody again for subscribing to my channel and liking my videos, and hopefully we'll be back in another 2 years maybe to update on this one, and it'll still be going just the way it is. So thank you very much, and have a good day.